TitleMatchNetwork.com.
When you were with Hogan, was there any plans for you to turn on him and feud with him at all in the beginning, or?
I didn't get that, but I knew it was inevitable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They came to me about the Quake thing at the last minute, because, but you can only run for, you got to ride the wave the way it is. And the people in the office, they, sometimes they do stuff prematurely. Sometimes they do it not so I know every worker thinks that it's premature.
Right.
No matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, we get at least 2 more years out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want those garden paychecks.
Yeah. I guess, what are your memories of working with Earthquake?
Man, they were great. He was my pal, man.
All right.
I mean, we went to Disney World together. Me, nothing like 1,000 pounds of Mickey Mouse ears.
Right.
On the midway. Oh, that's when we were hot beating people up on TV. Here we are with little kids pushing baby buggies with mouse ears.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying? He was awesome, man. If he had a problem, he'd talk to me about it. Or I had a problem, I could talk to him and confine him out. It was just, it was good chemistry there. You know what I'm saying? I could talk him into going to the gym instead of him staying in the hotel room. I said, come on, you big bastard. And here's a guy that wrestled for LSU. He was an alternate on the Canadian team. He was supposed to be the head as an amateur. He broke in with Baba in the business.
Right.
And he got snubbed from Baba because he dated a Filipino girl,
right.
Okay, and who became his wife eventually. You know what I'm saying? And because they have funny ways about them over there, because he had took him under his wing and kind of felt like he had dissed Baba. I got probably Baba. You know who I am, and you're not listening to me.
Right.
One of those deals.
Huh.
And he was just a great person. He loved his kids, loved his wife, and like I said, he was my pal, man. Me and we had Jimmy Hart. Hey baby, hey baby, hey baby. Eating his peppermints and eating macaroni and cheese. I think that's the only thing he ever ate in his life that I ever seen Jimmy Hart eat. You know what I'm saying?
Memories of working with him in the ring. Easy to work with?
When I was working against him?
Yeah.
Same. Just like when I was tagging with him.
Right.
He was a tremendous worker. Great worker. You know what I'm saying? Anything he wanted to do, he took care of me. You know what I'm saying? Some guys, you give them an inch and they're going to take and make you look like a piece of shit.
Right.
And the old guys in the business, when I broke into business, they told me, you don't give somebody, you don't take. You want, because then you've beaten nobody. Just a piece of meat, because
exactly. That's
the people that believe that, all they remember is the finish. No, that's not true, because they remember, man, did you see when he took and did that Samoan backdrop off the top, and then, just stuff like
right.
that, you know what I'm saying? It's not always the finish. They do remember that, but they remember the increments of the match itself, you know what I'm saying? The enjoyment of the match. And you have to beat somebody. You can't just beat a dog.
Exactly.
Yeah. Quake broke in Tokyo
right.
with Baba, and then the Road Warriors were over in Baba, and he's like, they're like, Jack Lanza's the agent. We're in the Tokyo Dome. It's sold out. All right. And they're like, they don't want to do any, you know what I'm saying? They want to get all their shit in,
right.
but they don't want to give us something. So I walk up, I'm like, you know what? I'm chewing on a teriyaki burger. I'm like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm doing the job. I says, here in Tokyo. So you know what? You guys decide what the fuck you're going to do, because I'm going to get my shit in.
Right.
I took in a first thing, because Quake, he was a guy that's 480 pounds, and Joe Laurinaitis gives him a tackle and just takes a 2 steps back. I'm like, that guy can nail your ass, wax you.
Right.
So I'm like, I love Joe, and I loved Hog, I'm like, so I'm there, I grab Hog, I gave him 10 backbreakers, bam, 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 and went, tossed him back, and the people just lost their nut, you know what I'm saying? But, when it came time, I did my shit,
Right.
This is, because Quake's told me, he says, we got to take our shit. If they're not going to give it to us, we're going to take it.
Right.
So we were a little more stiffer, but they got with the program, and they gave us, we gave them, you know what I'm saying? One of those kind of deals. Vince even came in one time. I only lost my temper one time. Vince came to us. We were supposed to work in Angles prior to '92 when we were going to work in Wembley Stadium.
Right.
Okay. In which, when we went to Wembley Stadium, Michael Jackson had just did 2 weeks prior to that. Did a show there and broke the stadium record. We came in and broke his record, and we came in after him.
Wow.
it was wild, man. I mean, we came up there and we were working an angle with the Road Warriors, and they're supposed to drop the belts to us, and there was they got real hot about the whole deal. And we're always business, and we always do what we were supposed to tell me and Quake. And I had Quake was awesome. He was, not only my tag partner, he was my best friend. He was an awesome guy.
Right.
And I was like, I got pissed off. We were having the meeting and that stuff, and there was going back and forth about how they're going to take and drop, about dropping the belts and stuff, and and I got pissed off. And I don't want to get too graphic.
No, you can.
You know what I'm saying?
So.
I told I was there. We were in Ohio doing a TV.
Right.
In the back room, and they're talking about all the stuff, and we're getting ready to go on this thing. We're finally getting our shot, and
Right.
And I'm like,
they don't.
I'm there with Quake, and yeah, they don't want to, we're this, we're that, and I love Joe, and I love, I love them both,
right.
And I was like, you know what? I got so tired. I was like, fuck this, man. I ain't going for this shit. I said, you guys decide what the fuck you're gonna do. I know what I got to do.
Right.
So I says, I'm going out the door. If you want me, you know where you find me.
Right.
I'm outside. And then a few minutes later, about 10, 15 minutes later, after they did all that stuff like that, Vince called me. They had him bring me back in, and Vince is like, you know what? Fred, I can't believe if you had a mouthful of shit, you wouldn't say, I've never heard. I says, well, Vince, I says, I'm always business. And Quake, same way. Quake always would speak up for us. He was
right.
he was the heavy hitter with us. I would just do whatever I needed to do. I enjoy the business. I love the business. And I love the guys around the business. And I was like, but that was bullshit.
Right.
I says, this is, the ego bullshit. I says, it goes back and forth. You give for me, I give for you, and that's the way the business is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Going back to Lawler, was he fair with you?
You know what? There was some stuff I was still real new in the business. There's some stuff that I didn't care for. I think on the overall perspective, as green as I was, and what he had to, work with me there, and I believe, he was okay. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's some stuff that I didn't care much about him about. I'm a one-on-one person. If I tell you, I'll tell you how it is and how like it is.
Right.
I'm a nice person. And I'm nice to people, but I'm not into getting screwed around. So it's part of the business, though. I'm saying? A lot of people ask me all the time about Vince. And I'm like, you know what? Vince is awesome, man. I have 3 children. I was there for every one of my children's birth when I worked with WWF.
Right.
Okay. And a lot of people have hard feelings with Vince, but you know what? It's hard he's the head of a corporation, a big multi-billion-dollar corporation. And you can't make everybody happy. You know what I'm saying? You got to ride the wave as long as you can ride the wave. You know what I'm saying? It's real important.
After they broke up the team with you in Earthquake,
yes.
Did you expect that? I mean, what did they tell you what they were going to do with you as far as the push? Or
no, not at all. Actually, I had gotten hurt up in we were either Oregon or Washington. I came down, and I was working with. I came off the top rope. I was working with Sione, Barbarian.
Right.
And I was going to crush his ribs, and I twisted and caught myself, and I ripped I tore my tricep, this one actually, off the bone. It's never been reattached.
Oh.
And that's at the same time I was opening a bar in Key West, 2 bars actually, and with my brother-in-law, and he was killed, and so it all fell on me, and the business. That was probably about the end of the business for me, because then I had to take over that because my brother-in-law got killed. He was supposed to be my partner, and I think they had at one point when Quake was working with Yoko. They wanted to bring me back in, and that's what George Steele told me. He says, "Kid, you really passed up a deal there because they wanted to work that program." That's after he did the deal on the ship and all that stuff and everything.
You got to work a couple matches with him, right?
I came in and worked that few, but because I couldn't leave my business, man.
Right.
I had too much money and time and all that shit invested in it.
You also worked with Bam Bam. What are your thoughts of working with Bam Bam Bigelow?
Loved it, man. It's really sad that he died. He, over the years, he's a good friend. He was another guy. Some people liked him, some people didn't like him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was a tremendous athlete. Loved his kids. He loved to fish, loved, hunt and all that stuff. He was like me, a big kid.
Right.
So we got along a lot because of that. I stayed at his house a few times when I come up here, and just good times. I loved working matches with him. He was what a good athlete was.
Right.
First big man doing cartwheels and all those different weird wild shit in the ring. He could go. And I was glad I had the opportunity to have him be part of my life and work in my life like many, many other guys.
TitleMatchNetwork.com